Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to HIMediaTV. I am your host, Evan from HIMediaTV, and welcome back to HIMedia Headlines for today, June the 21st, 2026. So, today I want to talk about a interesting thing across the, the release schedule for this year, right? What games are coming out this year? Like, we've talked about this. And I specifically want to talk about the months of September, and I want to talk about the months of October, right? I'm going to be skipping over, the previous things, the previous months, given there are some interesting things, because there is ultimately a, you know, really strange thing to be noticed here. And I want to be clear that this is not a comprehensive list. This is very much a light list. There is even more that will be announced in this 8-week bloodbath that is where games are going to be released over the course of 2 months. We have the new vampire game, Blood Dawnwalker. Valheim is getting a official. We're out of early access, big chunky release. The Wolverine game, Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave, Dawn of War, Warhammer 40k, Dawn of War 4, Control Resonant, Harvest Moon, Echoes of Trendia, Silent Hill Townfall, Onimusha Way of the Sword, Minecraft Dungeons 2. That's just September. October is Rayman Legends Retold, Ace Combat 8, Gears of War E-Day, Star Wars Galactic Racer, the Kingdom Hearts collection is getting a release, is getting a remaster. Planet Zoo 2, Castlevania, Belmont's Curse, Tales of Eternia remastered. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 is remaster. One Piece of Grand Gourmet, Hello Kitty Party Island, Phantom Blade 0. And then let's look at November and December. Godzilla Destroy All Monsters, Wielders of the Essence, Barbie Rewind in November, and December, Dragon Quest Monsters: The Witherworld. Okay, I'm actually really excited about that one. I ain't gonna hold you. But what pray tell is the reason why there is all of these games, hitters of games. This is not even including the indie titles, the re-releases, the remakes, and all of this other stuff that's trying to generate hype and all in a 2-month period. Well, it's because there's one game that I didn't mention that also comes out in November. One of the 4 games slated to come out in November. Grand Theft Auto 6. Because you see, ladies and gentlemen, that the reason why all of these games, these AAA games, these AA games, these indie games, are all releasing in the same month-long span is because they would rather fight over a very, wound consumer base that is dealing with economic, issues and in a recession, and compete with all of those dollars and all those other games that, by the way, that are going to require, that have cost hundreds of millions of dollars and are going to require millions of copies being sold to just even recoup that investment. They would rather do that than stay anywhere near GTA 6 when it releases on November the 19th. And this is going to kill studios, right? Because a lot of these games independently would sell very, very well. But when all of them are clumped together, people are going to be like, okay, I like I like base builder games. Valheim looks interesting. I haven't played that before. But I also like Control, and Control Resonant is a sequel to and looks really, really interesting. So I'm probably going to buy that. even though I probably would have also liked to play Marvel's Wolverine, but both of these games are $70, and gas is $5 right now, which is very likely to be given, the likelihood that the MOU signed by Trump is probably not going to be valid by this point because, Israel can't stop molesting the, Jordan land. It kind of puts us into an environment where like people are going to there's going to be a lot of studios that are going to close because so many of these games that have put a lot of time and money into it are all releasing around the same time with a complete like to the point where they're even like releasing alongside legitimate competitors. Like, for example, right? In September, Valheim is getting a huge release. But, like, not 2 weeks later, Harvest Moon Echoes of Terendia is coming out, which is another, like, slice of life based buildy type of game, granted, not a complete one-to-one thing, but my point remains the same. You also have releasing on the same day Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave, which is a fucking RTS-esque type of game, tactics game, alongside Warhammer 40k Dawn of War 4. Granted, different structure, different folks, and obviously different types of strategy games, but still both strategy games. And the people that are going to play Fire Emblem there's probably a decent amount of people who also like Dawn of War games. So where the fuck does that leave all of? You have a fucking Barbie game, a Godzilla beat 'em up remaster in November, and then Dragon Quest Monsters in December, which I do want to say for the record, Square Enix hates Dragon Quest Monsters fans. Why the fuck are you releasing it that close to GTA 6? But that's going to be a conversation for another episode. All in all, the point is that the 2 weeks, like the months leading up to November this year are going to be a bloodbath, and a lot of games that otherwise would have done very, very well are probably going to not see the sales post-release that they would have gotten had there been a much more equitable thing. Now, granted, Grand Theft Auto is going to print money. Take-Two is going to print money because of it. Whoop-de-doo. But I just can't help but be concerned about how a lot of like really awesome Microsoft has already shut down a few really good studios, just in the last week. We haven't talked about it because I haven't been making the show because I suck. Yes, I know, I'm sorry. And feels bad, man. Regardless, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to this episode of High Media Headlines for today, June the 21st, 2026. We appreciate your time and your listenership. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider joining our Discord. Link in the description. It's a great community, and we'd love to have you. Regardless, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to HIMediaTV. I have been your host, Evan from HIMediaTV, and I will see you guys next time.